The man long revered as Canada's ultimate hockey dad has died. Walter Gretzky, the father of hockey legend Wayne Gretzky, was 82.
At Scotiabank Arena, saluting Walter Gretzky, who's in the house tonight.
Walter Gretzky died Thursday after a 9-year battle with Parkinson's disease. The father of the great one taught his son the game of hockey and brought fame to their hometown of Brantford, Ontario. A constant in Wayne's life, Walter became a name himself, a blue-collar symbol of a devoted hockey parent in a country filled with them. Wayne Gretzky confirming his father's death on social media, putting out a statement that says in part, "For me, he was the reason I fell in love with the game of hockey. He inspired me to be the best I could be, not just in the game of hockey, but in life. He truly was the great one and the proudest Canadian we knew." Tributes are pouring in from around the hockey world. The Toronto Maple Leafs offering their condolences over the legendary hockey dad, calling Walter a warm and gracious fixture at Maple Leafs games, homes forever. Leafs captain paid tribute to Gretzky following last night's game in Vancouver.
He brought to the game more than just to his boys playing. So and the impact that they made on the game, obviously specifically Wayne. So. As a group, we recognize that and just want to, give our condolences to the Gretzky family and the hockey community.
And the Edmonton Oilers, Wayne Gretzky's first NHL team, released their own tributes. Oilers chairman Bob Nicholson wrote, "From his development and constant influence on one of the greatest players our game has known to the tremendous impact he had on Canada's Olympic gold medal winning team in 2002, Walter was truly everyone's hockey dad." Dave Feschuk joins me now. He's a sports columnist with the Toronto Star. Dave, good morning to you. So many of us woke up to this really sad news. How big of a loss is this for the hockey community? Exactly what did Walter Gretzky mean?
Well, Marcia, it's a huge loss because Walter Gretzky, yeah, he was Wayne Gretzky's dad. And that was, his primary claim to fame. If he didn't build that famous backyard rink in Brantford, Ontario, where Wayne famously weaved in and out of those Javex bottles to hone his skills that made him into the greatest scorer in the history of the NHL, we wouldn't know Walter Gretzky. But he did that, and then he transcended that by being an incredible presence at so many community rinks and charity functions, a tireless signer of autographs, a poser of photos with whoever asked, a guy who would allow people to just knock on his front door in Brantford, Ontario, and, perfect strangers would be granted a tour of his basement museum, basically a shrine to Wayne's career. He was so many things. He got the Order of Canada for his charity work, Marcia. This was a guy who wasn't just Wayne Gretzky's dad. He was Canada's hockey dad.
And he had his own story. Apart from his sons, he had a stroke in his 50s. He went on to do great things after that. He wrote a book. He was such a huge presence in the hockey world. Talk to us more about his story apart from and away from his son.
It's an incredible story of perseverance. I've done a lot of work on, his story. And you look back, this is a guy who had incredibly bad things happen to him over the years. In 1961, when he was working as a technician with Bell Canada, he had a work accident where he was in a coma. He lost the hearing in his right ear, couldn't work for 18 months or so, right around the time Wayne was born. Then, of course, the aneurysm in 1991 that set him back many years and, robbed him of his memories of Wayne's career, of all things. Really a cruel irony there. And then, but as Wayne said in his social media tribute to his dad, it never let him get it down. None of that ever got him down. This guy always had a smile, always persevered through it all, lost his wife in 2005, and yet was always a presence in so many lives, trying to make other people's lives better with his infectious positivity.
Can we talk about the love between father and son? They were even featured in a Tim Hortons ad. What do you know about the nature of their relationship?
Well, Wayne is obviously, as a son, Wayne has made no bones about the fact that his dad was his greatest supporter, his best friend. And I think one of the things that gets overlooked sometimes, because Walter was a very touchy-feely, kind, gentle guy. He was an incredibly brilliant hockey mind, right? There's always that famous Gretzky quotation about, "I go to where the puck is going, not to where it's been. And so many business leaders have used that quote. You know, I remember Steve Jobs quoted that, the great Apple innovator. Warren Buffett, one of the richest men in the world, to use that quote. That quote didn't come from Wayne. That was from Walter. You know, Walter drilled that mentality of anticipating the play into his son. And I think Wayne has said, you know, he made me the athlete I was. And that bond, obviously, you know, is insurmountably unbreakable.
Final question for you, because we're seeing so many tributes come in from the hockey world. What do you think it was about Mr. Gretzky that people that barely knew him are coming forward and paying their condolences, their very public respects, and really expressions of gratitude, Dave?
Well, I was lucky enough to meet him on a few occasions and watch him, work a room, so to speak. And I can tell you, even if you didn't know him, he'd make you feel like he knew you, and he'd make you feel like you were Wayne Gretzky. I mean, he had that kind of ability to really make you feel super important when you were in his presence. And I think that's why people were so touched by him. It's a rare gift, and he certainly had it, and he shared it so tirelessly is the thing that always sticks out to me. I mean, I saw him in so many community rinks where he would sign autographs until, when so many people's, hands would be cramping, he'd still be going. He really enjoyed being around people. He was truly a man of the people. And I think, Canada's hockey dad is a great title for him, because I think it's very true.
And a truly great Canadian. Dave Feschuk, thank you so much. Dave is a sports columnist with the Toronto Star.